Facebook.com. If you don't know what Facebook is, it's a social networking site that people use to stay in contact with their friends. They send messages to each other, browse pictures, and more. It allows you to keep in touch with hundreds of friends without needing to phone them all or send them all an email to keep them up to speed on your latest vacation pictures or the party that you had at your house that they didn't get to go to, or whatever it might be. So here is one of my Facebook accounts. We actually have several Facebook accounts that we use only because it gets to a point where tracking lots of campaigns gets difficult, and we actually like to, in the office, we like to have competitions between some of us to see who can write more effective ads. So this is one of my accounts. I've got a lot of my ads paused here. But if I want to create a new ad for my internet marketing course, now I've already got one ad approved for it. So I'm going to internet marketing course. About video based. I'm just changing it because I pretty much was writing the same thing I had in my last ad, which I want to change. I'm a horrible speller when I'm not paying attention here. Video based internet marketing course helps you sharpen your skills for the new economy. Enroll now for a discount. So we're going to choose a picture. I've got a picture here already. It's a picture of me teaching my course. There I am. MLMmoneyrake2. Now, you could set up multiple landing pages if you wanted to, or put some ad tracking code in here. I don't do that myself. I like to just send them straight to the domain, but that's your call. Now, I already have an ad running in Canada, so I'm going to do this one in the United States. I like to go after a 25 plus market. It's just my personal preference. That's really comes down to what you're selling. I mean, if you're selling ringtones or something that's going to appeal to 18-year-olds, then definitely go for a younger audience. You'll get you'll cast a much wider net. You can choose education here. You can choose sex. You can choose. I mean, we can narrow this right down. I mean, I could literally pick, my small town in Orangeville, Ontario, and only those people will see my ad, which makes. I just want to show you the effectiveness of this here. Enter a city. Orangeville. Oh, there we go, Orangeville, Ontario. So, and down here it actually says you're going to approximately reach about 5,000 people. So, I mean, if you wanted to do some serious local marketing, you have that power to reach just people in your own town. In my case, I'm actually going to be going back to the U.S. here, United States, everywhere. That gives you a much broader reach. Over 22 million people are going to see my ad. Campaigns, essentially you just pick campaigns. You can create a campaign for each different website that you run. I have several campaigns and you can set different budgets. My daily budget for this Money Rate campaign is $500 a day. I'm going to do cost per click. Of course, remember we talked about CPM. We don't do CPM. So I'm not going to set any kind of relationship status. I'm not going to enter any languages. I'm going to cast a pretty wide net here. I'm going to say continue. It'll take a second here to take me to my order page. Okay, so here's what my ad's going to look like. This is the website that it's going to, MLMmoneyrake2. 66 cents per click I'm paying. It's a pretty high click rate, but I'm hoping that it's going to pay off for me, so I'm going to hit place order. And bingo, you've created a Facebook ad. Now you can see here that it's pending review. That essentially means that they have to someone actually has to physically review your ad. They're going to review the website, and they're going to make sure that you're making legitimate claims and that you're not selling something that's unapproved. You know, and you're going to have to read over the rules. I mean, there's certain things that you can't promote an adult site on here, or certain types of dating sites they don't allow. So you know, have a good look at the rules before you start submitting ads. Other things that'll come into consideration are spelling and grammar. So you know, proofread your ads before you try and post them up, because they will get rejected. Facebook is notorious for rejecting ads, and they're notorious for not explaining properly why they've rejected your ads. So don't give up. I've had a lot of ads disapproved. Here's one right here that was disapproved, and then in the same category I've got another one that's running. So you know, definitely don't get discouraged if you do get disapproved. So that's Facebook advertising. So here we have a completed press release. I'm assuming that you've hired someone to do your press release that understands how to write a press release effectively, and the components that are required to actually doing a press release properly so that it's acceptable by the media. So here's a copy of my press release, and I just want to show it to you here so you can see that I've got it in a text document, but I'm going to move it aside so that I can show you where we submit our press release. So prweb.com is a fantastic resource for submitting your press release on the internet and getting it out to all the major news sites and blogs and that type of thing. So here we are at I've basically chosen that I want to submit a press release. You have lots of options here in terms of how much money you want to spend, and I guess it really comes down to what your budget is. But in my case here, I'm looking at 4 options. Standard visibility. So again, you can read these over yourself. I don't have to actually read through them with you. But personally, I like to choose SEO visibility. I find the media visibility is a bit of an overkill. They say guaranteed distribution through the Associated Press and top U.S. newspapers. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to wind up in the newspapers. Add an embedded video to your press release. That's cool, but I don't know how necessary that is. I mean, it will help, but ultimately, I think it's more important to get well placed in news sites and getting good search engine link popularity through your press release. Advanced analytics and easy report creation tools. Again, you don't necessarily need a whole lot more than the statistics that the SEO visibility provides you. So I'm going to choose SEO visibility, and they give you a few different options here. They give you a hands-off approach where you can just upload the release yourself. I'll do all this myself because I'm a do-it-yourself kind of guy, and I want to show you how to do things. So okay, choose your distribution enhancements. Please select any distribution enhancements you would like for this press release. So they have some pretty good options here, and I've used some of these along the way, but as I've gotten good at making sure my press releases are properly written, I've eliminated the need for these services. But podcast, I've never really gotten any value out of the podcast option. The editorial services, this I actually have found to be it's a worthy service if you're new to this. So the revision is a really good one where a proper editor will have a look at it and fix it for spelling and grammar and give it a more refined professional tone. I've used this service several times, and I can say they're extremely good at what they do. These people are professionals. They call you on the phone. They discuss the release with you. I've even had them completely rewrite releases for me based on some back and forth discussion and advice, and the advice has always been very good. So I highly recommend any of these add-on services. If you're on the fence, just do it. They're definitely worth trying. Business Wire distribution. I've never done this before. Again, there's a lot of add-on services here. You can go out of control if you want to, but I'm not going to add any more services to this particular setup. Next page is payment. So I'm going to go through the payment procedure here. I'm going to put it on my credit card. This is where I'm going to stop the video, and I'm going to pick it up when I'm done paying so that you guys don't get my American Express number. Okay, so we've paid here for the release. We're going to click on Upload Your Release. Okay. So we're going to pick a release date. It's important to know, if you've got something that you've already done, then you can, have an immediate release date. In my situation here, this is a course that I'm literally still working on. I mean, I'm filming this video as we speak here, but I'm in the I'm in the home stretch here, finishing this course. Of course, I'll always be updating it, but today is the 10th of February. My intention is to be finished by tomorrow. So if I choose Thursday the 12th as my release date, will I be safe? I don't know. But I kind of like Friday the 13th, so I'm gonna go for Friday the 13th, just to give myself a little breathing room in case something comes up, an emergency comes up that I have to deal with, or something else, which wouldn't be entirely unusual, but anyway. So distribution time, standard midnight distribution. This I wouldn't really change. I wouldn't change this at all, actually. So your headline. So we click on headline here. It says required. A maximum of 170 characters in title case will be accepted. Recommended up to 80 characters. HTML tags are not permitted. So here we're going to do, now looks like my release writer has done my title in uppercase when it's supposed to be in title case. So I'm just going to change that quickly. So and it's Internet Marketing Course now available online. Okay. So I'm going to click on Summary. So short 1 to 4 sentence summary of your news release. This helps your audience screen and review releases more efficiently. So usually this could be just the first portion of your release, which is what I'm going to use here. Cut this back actually one more sentence. Okay. Alright, so in here, this is where we actually put the body of the release. This is going to be basically the whole press release. So this includes the for immediate release, all of the date line and the header and all the other good stuff. So I'm actually going to change the date here to be February 13th because that's the date this is going to come out. And here's my press release. Now, it's important to understand that a big portion of writing a good press release is having a good anchor text marketing plan in place. So let's just have a quick look at their link writer here. So I'm just going to close this for a second. I've just noticed an error here. So this is something we have to look at. Your press release does not contain the right date line. So we need to put a date line in here at the top. So you can see that they've asked for some proper formatting here. It's very important to make sure, and they've got a good program in place to actually show you, if you've done something wrong. Which in this case, we made a couple mistakes, so it helped us to format things, which is nice. So here we get our link writer. So I'm going to take Internet Marketing Course, which is the first thing that I want to link. I'm going to cut it out of here, and I'm going to click on Link Writer, and it's going to ask me for a title, and then it wants my URL. Okay, and I'm going to create the link. That immediately gets put into our body. And then the next one I have is Make Money Online, which is right here. I'm going to cut that as well. Oops. I think I grabbed the period there, which I don't want to grab. Make Money Online. Cut. Link Writer. That's my title again. Create link. Okay. So down here we've got keywords. So work from home. What else can we put in here? That should work. So industry, we have to choose an industry here. Business, online marketing, SEO. Release is currently targeting. So we're going to stick with all regions international. I want this to be released more in the United States than anywhere else. Oh, sorry, we have to add the category. I forgot. I don't actually do this very often, so how many categories can we get away with here? Let's see. It's my assistant that normally submits these, but I wanted to do this myself for the video. So let's just see what else we've got here. Lots and lots of. Let's go with technology, internet. Add. Okay. So that's a pretty good listing of categories. We could probably add more. Let's add more. Technology webmasters. How many is it going to give us, do you think? Before we run out, there's always a limit. Where's the limit? Let's see where the ceiling is. Business. Advertising, marketing. There we go. I'm going to stick with just these. No, let's go with that. Let's see where else we can go here. Computer instruction. That works for me too. Okay, so I'm going to limit it there. I don't know where the end is, but I'm sure we could. Figure that out. My website URL. Phone number, you like to provide secondary contact information? No. Let's go to advanced features. Now I think it's going to screen the release. It might find something wrong with it. It might not. Hopefully it doesn't, but let's see what we get here. Normally it goes through a process where it scans the release, and if you have too many links or not enough words or other things, it will alert you to those problems. It's coming in slowly, but it is loading. Okay, so what did we do here? Wants a valid zip or postal code for this press release. Obviously I forgot to put that in somewhere. Let's put myself in Canada. Need to select my own country, not the release country. L9W 5B6 is our mailing address postal code. Let's try this again. Okay, so here's our advanced features. So we can add all kinds of cool different things to this. Let's go to Run SEO Wizard first. So what do we have here? Anchor title not utilized. Internet marketing course is duplicated. Please note your press release contains one or more redundant anchor links. In general, too much link clutter will negatively impact readability and attractiveness of your press release. Again, in this case I've got 2 links. I'm not too concerned about it. I'm going to hit continue here and see what it says. So again here, it brings up all kinds of scoreability on your press release. This stuff is it's important to understand, but at the same time, you need to write your press release for the reader, not for the search engines. So, as long as you're not going overboard, which in some cases here it says, you've got maybe a little too much density in some cases, you may want to edit things. In this case, I'm not going to. So, continue. Oh, sorry, so it wants to analyze keywords. I'm not going to bother with this myself. I'm going to go back. And back to advanced features. So we could keep going through the SEO wizard. It's kind of a redundant activity in my opinion. It's going to do a lot of analyzing of your release, which you may want to do, but personally I like to keep things kind of organic and natural. URL keywords, let's have a look at this. Alright, so here we can change these two things to actually be keywords. So let's go with let's see what it says here. Please provide 1 or 2 single words, keywords that you would like displayed in your unique press release URL to increase the online visibility of your press release. The keywords may only contain alphanumerics, hyphens and or underscores. No spaces are allowed, and each keyword, including hyphens and underscores, cannot be longer than 25 characters. So let's try this. Internet marketing course, and make money online. So this is what we get. Internet marketing course / make money online / the number of my press release. We click enhance URL. So that's a good thing to do is change the URL keywords. Quotables. We want feature video. You'd have to upgrade for targeted media digests. Let's have a look and see what that is. Industry media digests. We could go with business. Let's go with business. I like the sound of that. Save that. Digest distribution point saved. Tweet it. So here it wants my my Twitter account information, which I could give it. If you have a Twitter account, it will automatically post your press release through your Twitter account. I'm not going to do that, but you could definitely do that if you had a good Twitter following. So there's other options here. Manage trackbacks. Let me approve all trackbacks prior. Email trackback notifications to my email account, so they're enabled. Trackbacks are it's part of the blogging community. Select a new RSS group. We want to be put into. Let's see what we have here. So here you would actually, if you have an RSS feed for your website already, you would feed that information into here. My website, MLMmoneyrake2 is not currently running an RSS feed, so I'm not going to bother with this portion as well. So I'm just going to cancel. So it takes me back here, so we're going to go to the preview. Sometimes their website can be a little bit slow. They're a fairly large organization in terms of the number of releases that they handle on a daily basis. So, okay, so here we go. This is a preview only. So this is what your press release is technically going to look like. It feeds in a frame of your website, which is always going to be live and up to date based on what your website is. Here's your Technorati phrases. So I've actually noticed something here that I need to fix. I've got a dot here instead of a comma, which has actually made this one large key phrase. So I'm going to need to go back and edit the release and fix where I've got these keywords. So there, see, I've got a dot instead of a comma. These little things you have to really keep an eye open for, because if a comma isn't used to separate your keywords, then things will get strung together and they won't work properly. So I'm glad we caught that. So I'm just going to hit submit now because I know everything else is fine. And release submission complete. There's your headline. There's your summary. Payment level, thank you for your submission. Your release has been saved and dispatched to our editorial department. After your press release has been reviewed by our editorial staff, you will receive an email notification to my Gmail account detailing the results of the review. And there it is. So I have a press release pending, and it's going to go live on Friday at midnight. So search engine optimization is one of the most covered topics in online marketing today. Everybody knows, or has at least heard of the term search engine optimization, but I want to break it down for you in terms of what it really means, because there are quite a few components to search engine optimization, and it's not just improving the way your page is designed. So let's look at these now. So what I consider to be SEO, or search engine optimization, critical components, the number one component I think when it comes to search engine optimization is link popularity. It's important for you to get links to your site from high quality websites using the hyperlinks and anchor text you desire. I'm going to show you how to improve your link popularity very effectively today. But I just want you to understand that this is not a quantity game as much as it is a quality game. If you have really, really good quality links that have high page rank or just high popularity in general, you're going to do very well. You could have 10,000 crappy links on forum signatures, all over the internet, or you could have 500 really good links from some high quality sites like Flickr and YouTube and high quality Web 2.0 sites. So we're going to discuss link popularity at further length in this video. Page and site structure, we've already covered meta tags and titles and all that kind of stuff, so that falls under this category. But the additional factors here I want to talk about are domain name keywords, so the keywords that are actually in the domain name itself, the page names themselves, content duplication. You can't have the same site in 60 different places on your domain. Google's going to punish you for that. A simple example when it comes to page names, meaning the file name of your website pages. Here I'm using a free chocolate sample, so a good page name would be get-free-chocolate-by-mail.htm. A bad page would be page2.htm, which doesn't tell Google anything about the content of the web page. And again, we don't want to keyword load these pages. Be descriptive about what is on the page. Instead of saying contact us, you could say, contact us for free chocolate, or contact us for internet marketing, or something like that, .htm. Again, important to be relevant to the content of your page. Site depth and visitor statistics. Not a lot of people know that Google actually tracks the information about your website and uses it to determine your rankings. Google Toolbar is actually collecting data about how long people spend on a website, the number of pages they visit, the bounce rate, which is the percentage of people who hit their back button after landing. All of this information is used to determine a site's quality and ranking. So it stands to reason that a site with a 50% bounce rate might be better than one with an 80% bounce rate if all other things in terms of link popularity and site structure and everything else were equal. So don't think this just comes down to, I've got more links than the other guy, why am I not at the top of Google yet? Quality counts here. So if you've got something readable, if you've got some gripping content, good headline text that pulls people in and makes them want to read more, subsequent pages for them to read through, you're definitely going to have a better user experience in terms of how Google tracks people's usage of your website, which will stand to reason that you will see better rankings with Google. Other critical components here, these are lower down on the list but still very important. Domain age. It is one of the least important factors, and in some cases can be irrelevant. I use some examples of domains that I've just recently registered in this course, but the age of the domain can come into play, especially when you're dealing with older key phrases that you're trying to go after. I mean, I have some domains that are 11 and 12 years old, and they do extremely well in Google just based on their age alone. They've always been live, so Google ranks them well because they've got a good history. And some people don't even realize that how long the domain is paid for can play a role too. If you've got a domain that's expiring next month, it doesn't look as good in Google's eyes as a domain that has a 10-year window on its expiry. They know you're not going to go anywhere. Another critical component is the host that you choose, the web host that you choose. And there's really no way to know for sure if that host is banned from Google, but the best way to do it is to actually search for their domain name on Google, and if nothing comes back, or their website doesn't come back, chances are they're in what we call a bad neighborhood. And a bad neighborhood just means that somebody along the way has abused Google using that hosting company. Maybe they put too many domains up with the same, regurgitated articles, or they did something else to spam Google with too much content. And sometimes what Google will do is they will ban not just one IP address, but they'll ban an entire block of IP addresses, thousands and thousands of IP addresses on one particular hosting company or ISP. So, it's important to understand that this is a factor. It's not. It usually doesn't come into play for people if they're using big hosting companies, but it is something that you're going to want to do. Go and look for your hosting company on Google and make sure that they're getting ranked and that they actually have a listing on Google. If they don't, it's a sign. It doesn't necessarily mean for sure, but it is a sign that they may be considered a bad neighborhood with Google, which could be affecting your ability to rank. Uh, it needs to be mentioned here. I don't like their service at all, but I do use Yahoo Small Business Hosting for many of my sites. My experience shows that Google really likes Yahoo's IP address blocks, and many of my new sites get picked up by Google within days of going live. So if you're looking for a hosting company, I don't recommend them from a service perspective. Their service is awful, but in terms of having an easy to use host, they can they'll give you a domain and a hosting account for I think $9 a month with tons of great tools like WordPress blogs and all kinds of things you can just one-click install into your website. So that's also a very good hosting service. So let's start with link popularity. Link popularity is probably the most important component about. Really, this whole course is all about link popularity, but it's also about building traffic from other websites. But the two kind of go hand in hand. So I'm going to show you a diagram here. Now, this is a diagram that I use in my courses to illustrate how link popularity works. So in the middle here is a picture of your website, and stuck to your website are blogs that you may be running, pages on your website, videos that you've published, press releases that you may have done, images that you've got out in the web space, other websites that support your site on some level, and articles that you may have written. And then on the outside is sort of this web of different sites. So if we start at the top here, we've got scribe.com. They're a document sharing site, so your PDFs would get uploaded to them. Dig.com would be a social bookmarking site. You would actually link your scribed content to dig.com. You would also link your YouTube videos, your Google videos, possibly your blog posts. Almost everything else in this list would actually get submitted to Dig. Delicious is similar as well. It's another social bookmarking site. You would submit all of your content to Dig. We're going to talk about all this kind of stuff shortly here, but I just kind of wanted to show you this diagram to illustrate. Some people might get this just by looking at it. Others are probably going to need a little bit more explanation. So if it confuses you now, don't be afraid. There will be more explanation, and you'll get it at the end of this course. So how do I get more link popularity? Well, I have a 3-step process that I use, and if you do this every single day of the week, you will get more and more link popularity, and you will build more and more traffic to your website. It's hard work. Nothing comes easy, but I'm to the point now where I have assistants and staff that do this stuff for me. I don't actually do a lot of this stuff myself anymore. So step 1. You're going to create content. Content is going to be photos, videos, or articles. Step 2 is you're going to publish your content. That means you're going to upload your content to, photo sharing sites, video sharing sites, article sites, or document sharing sites. And number 3 is you're going to promote your content. So you're going to take that content that you just uploaded and you're going to submit it to social bookmarking sites and voting sites and other sites that will basically accept your link. So how do we create content, or what kind of content do we create? Number 1 is photo content. This could be pictures you take of your office, products, people, or anything else related to your website or your content. And photos get published on sites like Flickr.com, PhotoBucket, etc. If you want to find a complete list of photo sharing websites, go to Google and search for photo sharing. There are new photo sharing sites going live every single day. I could put a list together, but it would never ever be up to date. There are thousands of photo sharing websites on the net, and if you really wanted to drill down, you could submit photos to all of them. Number 2 is written content, articles that you write about your subject. You can outsource your article writing. That's what I do for the most part. I'm just too lazy to write my own articles, to be honest with you. I can get it done for so cheap, that I just get people to write articles for me, but you can write them yourself as well. And of course, in your articles, you want to make sure to use anchor text, hyperlinks within. So if in my case, if I'm writing about my internet marketing course, everywhere the internet marketing course is mentioned in my document, I'm going to want to link it back to my website or make money online or any of the keywords that I'm kind of going after. So articles that you create can be uploaded to scribe.com or other article websites. Really, there's two things you can search for here on Google to find a complete list. Document. So there's two things you can search for. First one is document sharing. Scribe.com is a document sharing website, so similar to YouTube, you would just upload your PDFs or your Word documents directly to Scribe, and they're going to publish that content for you. Another example of a document sharing site would be docstoc.com. Just do a Google search for document sharing, and you will find dozens of really good quality document sharing sites. There are more popping up, but it's still a pretty new concept on the internet. Document sharing hasn't caught on as strongly as video and photo sharing has, but it probably will sooner or later, and it's definitely worth doing. And then the other category for written content would be article websites. So if you search for upload article or publish article, you're going to find there are literally thousands of article websites out. And I'm going to put a link list together on my website of some of these sites that I use or that we use personally. But again, do your research, search Google, and you're going to find more of these sites than I could ever keep you up to date with. So I think it's important to stay on top of new sites because Google likes a lot of these new sites. Number 3, of course, video content. You see this stuff everywhere. People using YouTube.com to talk to the camera or talk to their customers, or they put up their customer testimonials or demos of their product, or pictures of or videos of pretty girls. I like to upload videos of girls playing with money or whatever it might be. Any kind of video content. I mean, you can shoot video with your cell phone today. There's no excuse for not having video content out there in the Web 2.0 space. So again, you're going to publish your content. You're going to upload using various photo and video and document sharing websites. You can upload your content to hundreds of high quality websites. Make sure to provide your site's URL and your profiles whenever possible. And you're going to promote your content. So to promote your content, you're going to submit the content that you've uploaded, list your content on the various social bookmarking, voting, classified, and networking sites. Your content links back to you. So all you need to do is build the popularity of your content. Again, this looks a little scary right now. I'm going to take you through every single step, every single website, in all of my videos here. So this is just sort of a high-level overview of what we're going to talk about today. So don't let this steer you. This is definitely just explaining what we're going to do. We're going to dig right down into the details and do every one of these sites step by step so that you can get your head around how things are done.